Alright, so I thought I'd change it up a little bit, talk about some other movies. I just recently saw War of the Planet of the Apes for the first time, which is like shocking because I loved Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and I love Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But for some reason, I just didn't see War in theaters. I just forgot about it, or like I just felt no need to go see it in theaters. But I saw it now. I just recently saw it, and I liked it. I liked it. This trilogy is definitely one of the better trilogies in recent memory. Like, other than the Dark Knight trilogy, this Planet of the Apes trilogy is something special. And after I watched War, I went back and I watched Rise and I watched Dawn. Rise, that movie's fucking good. James Franco does a great job in that movie. The only problem with that movie is the CG looks dated, surprisingly enough. Like the monkey CG on the monkey's face, it looks bad. like they gotta go back and like revamp it. They gotta do a remaster. Like a video game remaster of that, and it's gonna be just as good because that movie ends on such a high note with Caesar saying no for the first time. And they escape and they find their way into the forest and shit. That movie ends on such a high note, and then Dawn starts on such a fucking low note. Like it literally starts like showing the world like dying, from like a space point of view, and then like a dawn of the dark age, and then we see Caesar and his posse, and they're hunting deer and shit like that. But this is where I get to my problem with War of the Planet of the Apes, is that it's not really a war. The first 20 minutes of War of the Planet of the Apes, yeah, it's a war. That's what I was expecting the whole movie to be. Was humans versus apes, like two armies fighting on a battlefield, Like that's what I was expecting. And we got that for like the first 20 minutes, and the whole reveal of Woody Harrelson as the villain, and he kills his son and wife. That was so well done, but I felt like it just came early. I felt like that could have been like at the midpoint of the movie. That could have been like the second act. But they put it right at the very beginning of the film. So the rest of the film, Caesar is on a revenge quest to kill the guy who killed his son and wife, right? So it's literally just you're following Caesar and a couple companions and a little girl, and they're trying to find, Woody Harrelson, the bad guy. And that's where I start to have a problem with the movie. I'm like, this is called war. Why are we on like a little Trekkie adventure? Like why is this just like a little like journey? Like why would you call it war? Why wouldn't you call it like the Last Crusade or something? Like you call it some fucking you call it something else other than war, because war entails that a big battle is going to happen, and a big battle does happen, but it happens in literally the last 10 minutes of the movie, and I mean you don't really see much of the battle, and the whole third act of the movie is a prison camp, and it's Caesar, and he has to find a way to get all his people out of this prison camp, which, coincidentally enough, they all happen to be, like, they were all captured, easily, without Caesar. And they were brought to the same exact location that Caesar is going to hunt down the bad guy, right? It's all very circumstantial. They even run into a monkey on the way that can speak English, but he can't speak sign language, and he happens to know the exact location they need to go, right? Like, it's very coincidental. The one talking chimp you run into knows exactly where you need to go. Stuff like that is like very lazy writing, it's just way too easy. And that's kind of where my problems with the movie are, like it feels like there's a lot of circumstantial shit that happens, a lot of coincidental shit that happens, and it doesn't live up to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, because after watching Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, like, it's tough for any fucking Planet of the Apes movie to beat that. That was a fucking good movie. Like, watching it again after seeing War, my god, Dawn is so fucking good. And, like, they even have a whole battle sequence between humans and apes. If anything, Dawn should have been called War, right? And then War should have been called Dawn. They should just switch the titles. Because Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is much more like a war film. You know? You got two competing colonies, and they're going to war over, like, land and shit like that. Like, you got Koba leading a military coup, like General fucking Zod. It's fucking amazing. It definitely should be called War of the Planet of the Apes. And this new one should be called Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Because it ends with them finding their new settlement, which happens to be the same exact location that Charlton Heston's character from the original movie crash lands. It's the same exact lake area. Like hindsight 2020, but I think that definitely would have been a better way to title these movies. But, this trilogy has the same problem the Dark Knight trilogy has. Like, The Dark Knight is the second movie in the trilogy, and it's so fucking good that it kind of puts the other two movies to shame a little bit. Like, a little bit. Like, I still like Dark Knight Rises, but no, it doesn't come close to Dark Knight. It's really good, but still, like, Dark Knight's on another level. And it's the same thing with this Planet of the Apes trilogy. Dawn of the Planet of the Apes is on a completely different level than War. War feels like such a small movie compared to Dawn, Like, I don't know, like, how they managed to make a movie called War of the Planet of the Apes not very epic. And don't get me wrong, it's a good movie. Like, I liked it. Every time I watch this trilogy, I'm gonna watch all three. I'm going to switch up the order, of course, because that's me. I like to switch up the order of trilogies and stuff. I'll definitely watch War of the Planet of the Apes first, then watch Rise, and then end it with Dawn. Always end it with the best movie, That's how you have to watch any trilogy or collection or anything. You got to end it on the best movie. But yeah, I really enjoyed watching it. Despite, the problems I had with it, despite it not living up to Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I still had fun watching War, it was still more, it was just like, I really like Dawn of the Planet of the Apes so much that just having more of that, having more Caesar, I liked it just because of that. And yeah, when they killed the son, I felt it was a little too quick. I felt like that's something that they could have saved for the second act, because his son was such a big part of Dawn of the Planet of the Apes that, it just feels like when they kill him off in War, it's just a little unearned, like he should have, I know, it's funny to say that, after being such a big fan of Batman vs. Superman, I'm saying that death is unearned, but, like, we should have had a little bit more with his son before they killed him off in this last movie, a little bit more. But I really love how the movie syncs up with the original Planet of the Apes, the 1968 film. And it explains why the humans are mute, because they don't speak in that original movie. I mean, they eventually learn how to speak, but, they're all pretty silent they're all silent when you first see them. Except for Charlton Heston's character. Get your hands off me, you damn dirty ape! He's the only one that can talk. Yeah, so I like how, like, the same disease that killed off most of the human population, it evolved, and now it's just making them mute. It's not killing them, it's just making them mute. And for some reason, the bad guy thinks that if you're mute, you're not a person and you become an animal. Like, what? Like, it's clear that the little girl can learn sign language and she can speak. So it seems like the solution is for everyone to learn sign language, It seems like that's the easiest solution. You don't have to kill somebody just because they can't talk. So that's kind of dumb. But, other than that, good movie. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Watch the whole trilogy. I'm going to pick up the whole trilogy when they come out with a nice little box set of all three, remastered or whatever. That's probably when I'm going to pick it up. Definitely want a remastered of that first movie. I don't know if they released that yet, but I'm going to look into that. Hopefully they will. Because that's very good. And it's such a good contrast. After you see, like, Dawn and War, and then you go back and watch the first movie, it's kind of, like, mind-blowing, watching, like, the modern-day setting, and the chimps just learning to talk, Caesar saying his first word. It's, like, it's cool as fuck. I love that contrast. But, yeah, just wanted to change up the pace a little bit, talk about some other movies. I loved this Planet of the Apes trilogy. War was a little bit of a letdown, but I still like it. Dawn is my favorite out of the trilogy. Rise is my second favorite. War is third. That's what it is for me. What do y'all think about that? Have you seen these movies? Do you like these movies? You probably have seen these movies. These movies made a fucking shit ton of money, so of course you've probably seen them. But if you haven't, go see them. They're really good. They're really good. Yeah, let me know what you think about it. How does it compare trilogy-wise? Like, do you think it's one of the greatest trilogies of all time? I think it's up there. It's pretty close. You got the Indiana Jones trilogy. You got the Dark Knight trilogy. You got the fucking Star Wars original trilogy, and then you got this and then you got this Planet of the Apes trilogy. And I would say the Alien trilogy because I don't like to think of the other Alien movies. I only think of Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3. Those are the only Alien movies that exist in my head. Other than Prometheus and Covenant, I like those two, but yeah, definitely the first three Aliens are like the best, I feel, and they make a nice little trilogy. But that's a whole other fucking video. I just saw all the Alien films again too, so I'm probably gonna talk about that in the next video. So yeah, I'll see you all there. Let me know what you think about this Planet of the Apes trilogy. All right, bye bye for now.